Good evening, good evening. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another live edition of Carolina Panthers Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube, live and in the flesh. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody's had a good start to the week. Hope everybody's had a blessed weekend as well. Just wanted to get on here for a little bit. Talk about a few things. So, Carolina Panthers got a visit from defensive end from the Seattle Seahawks, Carlos Dunlap, which potentially could end up being the newest addition to the Carolina Panthers. Also going to talk some about Robbie Anderson. He changed his first name, took out the Y and put in an IE. And there was even a point recently that he thought about retiring. Now, of course, it was tweeted about it and then it was deleted. But let's talk. Let's talk about it. Let's actually talk about it. But first, let's take a look at Carlos Dunlap. So Carlos Dunlap, 33 years old. It's actually from South Carolina, from Charleston, North Charleston, South Carolina. And apparently it's been said that he has a desire to play for the Carolina Panthers. Two-time Pro Bowler, 2015 and 2016. And actually had a good season last year. Played in all 17 games. Got 35 total tackles, 24 of them solo. 8.5 sacks and a forced fumble. So, not bad. Not bad at all. Not only that, he has currently 96 career sacks. So, he is 4 away from hitting 100 sacks, ladies and gentlemen. That's big. Has a total of 539 tackles in his career, 96 sacks, 9 fumble recoveries, 67 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, and actually has scored 3 touchdowns. So, I don't know about y'all, but this looks like could be a good acquisition to bolster this D-line. Hey, what's up, Joe Valesco? Have you heard Robbie Anderson thinking about retirement? Yeah, that's one of the topics for tonight. So definitely stay tuned. We're going to discuss about that in this stream. But yeah, thank you for joining. I'll say this with Carlos Dunlap. Definitely great stats. 33 years old. And you know what? I could see him being a great compliment on the D-line, especially with Brian Burns. Spent most of his career with the Cincinnati Bengals and the last 2 seasons with the Seattle Seahawks. So this will be another change of atmosphere for him. But I could definitely see this being a great acquisition for the Carolina Panthers. Like I said, you could potentially have Carlos Dunlap and Brian Burns starting on the edges. And then you have, you still have your YGM, you still have your Amari Barnos, you still have your Marquise Haynes. I mean, that's some good depth on the defensive ends for Carolina. That would be some really good depth, y'all. I mean, when you think about it, that could potentially really bolster the D-line in a great way. My only thing is it possible that maybe the better idea should have been to bolster the interior D-line? Because I mean, we got Ioannidis. We got Derek Brown. We got Bravion Roy. We got Davion Nixon. We got Phil Hoskins, who played a little bit last season. I mean, I feel like we probably could have strengthened the interior D line more, but but I mean the edge is being strengthened with the potential addition of Carlos Dunlap is a big deal. It is a big deal. So I'm really, if it happens, if the signing happens, I'll be cool with it. I'll definitely be cool with it. It looks like they're going through physicals and just showcasing his talents. The workout, the physical, and apparently he's going to continue to meet with the coaches and staff tomorrow. So I think this would be a good pickup. I mean, he had 8.5 sacks last year. Played all 17 games, so I would assume he's pretty healthy. And I know we all talked about how much we miss Hassan Reddick. Well, Carlos Dunlap looks like he could be a great replacement. Having him and Brian Burns, that's a great start on the edges. And then you got plenty of depth on the edge, especially with YGM, Amari Barno, Marquise Haynes. I mean, you can do some things with that. So even though I would have liked to maybe have gotten another name at the interior, like maybe even Ndamukong Suh, but you know what? I can't hate on this idea of bringing in Carlos Dunlap. I can't be against it because I think it would definitely help with pass rush. Hopefully, with a good pass rush, maybe the interior can eat. Still hoping that they'll still be able to stop the run, clog up the middle and stop the run with what we have. That's the only thing I'm kind of iffy about. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, nothing's been done yet. The signing hasn't been done yet, but it could happen within the next day or two. But I would be all for Carlos Dunlap getting picked up. I think that would be good. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And then of course Robbie Anderson. Oh, Robbie Anderson. Quite a lot going on there with Robbie Anderson. Now, of course, one of the things that happened was first off, he did show up for mandatory minicamp. So we got to give him that. Um, and like I said, he's changed his name from his first name from Robby to Robbie. So just a slight change there. And of course, he's going to be rocking with number 3 instead of number 11 for this season. Now, I mean, here's the thing with Robbie Anderson. I know a lot of people want to hate on Robbie Anderson, are really on his case, especially with how last year went. Look, did he struggle? Yes. Did he have some drops? Yes. But here's my thing. Quite a lot has happened with this team, especially with the change of quarterbacks between Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Darnold. I mean, let's also keep in mind that before Sam Darnold came into the picture, Robbie Anderson had an 1,000-yard receiving season. So let's look at the whole picture. I'm not saying it was all on him or all on Sam Darnold. It's a combination of a lot of things. which is why I still believe that Robbie Anderson can have a bounce back year this season. But a lot of things have to fall into place, especially the offense in general, quarterback, how the offense is ran, and execution. You know what I mean? So I get Robbie's frustrations. I mean, frustrations with Sam Darnold, which is totally understandable. We can't really blame him for his frustrations with Sam Darnold because let's keep it real. A lot of us are frustrated with Sam Darnold, so why can't he be? I'm just saying. And then him not wanting Baker Mayfield, now, I mean, that's on him. I mean, I really don't know why, because he would clearly be an upgrade over Sam Darnold. But, I mean, folks have personal preferences. And I guess for him, that's a personal preference. I mean, at the end of the day, we've all at least seen what Robbie Anderson can do. Like, let's not sit here and act like we haven't seen him do well. He did well 2 seasons ago. And not only that, I mean, let's keep it real. When he was with the Jets, he was pretty much their best receiver. So, I mean, we just got to keep it real. Now, I understand the whole idea of him, possibly retiring came up. I'm glad that's not the case. But I will say that if it did come to that, I mean, he's definitely replaceable. Definitely replaceable, but it leaves kind of a hole in the wide receiving core. You know what I mean? Because we have to also realize that at least folks like DJ Moore, folks like Robbie Anderson have at least been proven wide receivers on this team specifically, especially DJ Moore. He's done it his whole entire time in Carolina. I mean, we look at folks like Rashard Higgins. I mean, I don't even know what to really expect with him on our team. I mean, I didn't really pay much attention to him when he was with the Browns. And then Andre Roberts, who's, been doing a lot better as far as special teams, mainly special teams. But, I mean, we can only hope that Terrace Marshall Jr. will definitely provide some competition, who actually has been looking good in minicamp. He's been looking good. Apparently, he beat Dante Jackson on a fly route and coasted into the end zone, from a bomb from Sam Darnold. And I'm even hearing word that Sam Darnold has been impressing and having a good camp. But I'm not going to get my hopes up, because if we remember correctly, he was having a good camp the previous season, and we all saw what happened. So I'm not going to get my hopes up, but it definitely says something when the word is from Matt Rule that he is starting to embrace the idea of going forward with our quarterback core. Sam Darnold, Matt Corral, PJ Walker. I mean, the door on Baker Mayfield isn't 100% closed, but I mean, that says something. That says something. If Matt Rule strongly feels that these are the guys, then I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, y'all. Maybe Baker Mayfield will eventually be out of the picture. And then you also have to realize, with all the stuff coming up with Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield ain't even a guarantee to us. I mean, if Cleveland's smart, they're keeping Baker Mayfield. Because with the way things are looking and how stuff keeps coming up with Deshaun Watson, I would not be surprised if it ended up being some sort of exuberant suspension. And I'm not talking like a couple of games, but possibly a whole year. It could come down to a whole year. I mean, look at Calvin Ridley. He's being suspended for a whole year and for gambling. Who's to say the same wouldn't happen to Deshaun Watson? I mean, stuff just keeps piling up on him. So realistically, if the Browns are smart, they're keeping Baker Mayfield. They're either going to keep Baker Mayfield, or if they really, really want to get rid of him, they'll agree in a full-on trade between and actually will accept Sam Darnold from us. Those are the only two things that I could really see happening from the Cleveland Browns, especially if Deshaun Watson indeed does get indefinitely suspended. Which, like I said, we dodged a huge, ginormous, not bullet. We didn't dodge a bullet. We dodged an atom bomb by not signing Deshaun Watson. But at the end of the day, been hearing good things about Sam Darnold with minicamp. I mean, and then with Robbie Anderson, like I said, I still believe that he can still get it done. And I believe that he can bounce back. I say that strongly because he did 2 seasons ago. As a matter of fact, he had his best season statistic-wise with Carolina his first year with Carolina. Let's keep that in mind. And at the same time, you have to also understand his frustrations because the dude has played with Sam Darnold before. Let's also keep that in mind. He's played with Sam Darnold before. So I'm like, why are some folks surprised? I really don't understand that. I'm not saying that he couldn't have had a better attitude and better handle things, but we can't really be that surprised. Now, the whole mulling and thinking retirement, that must be a mental thing or whatnot, just due to a lot of what's been happening over the past season. But you can't blame the guy for his frustrations. Ultimately, what I'm saying is you can't really blame him for his frustrations. But I believe he will bounce back. I do believe indeed he will bounce back. We have to keep in mind what he's been able to do, what he's capable of. My biggest hope is that the offense will be greatly improved, especially execution-wise. Hey, Bushin Ryu Cat. Evening, Jason. Stop by to say hi. Hello to you. Please remind me what day the wrestling news will be. I saw Dominion and Cyberfight Festival. Wow. So it will most likely be this Friday evening. But if not this Friday evening, it'll be Saturday early afternoon. Early afternoon. Um, be sure to check out my video I did on New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion. I'm still trying to finish up Cyber Fight Festival. I didn't realize it was 6 hours long, but hopefully within the next day or two, I'll have the video up of my thoughts on Cyber Fight Festival. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah. But I got some high hopes for the defense, especially, if we do get Carlos Dunlap, that strengthens the D line. Also, interesting thing. So we currently, right now, the Panthers' offensive line is ranked 24th by PFF. Do y'all agree with that? Bushin Ryu Cat says, sounds good. Yes, it was. You could have skipped the first 2 hours, though. Good night, bud. Oh, for real? Oh, okay. Skip the first 2 hours. Yeah, because I know, and I didn't realize until after I started watching it that the first 3 matches were actually pre-show matches. But you make a good point. But yeah, I'm about fourth hour into it, so there's still maybe 4 matches I have left. So yeah, hopefully can get through those within the next day or two. But yeah, Carolina Panthers offensive line as of now is ranked 24th by Pro Football Focus. They have the projected starting lineup to be Taylor Moton at right tackle, Austin Corbett at right guard, Bradley Bozeman at center, Brady Christensen at left guard, and Ikem Ekwonu at left tackle. Now, there are some notes that they put here, and I quote, it says, this is a conservative estimate for what was one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL last season, but it's one that is now bursting with potential after multiple offseason moves. Facts. Taylor Moton has played more than 1,000 snaps and entered a 76.0 plus PFF grade in 4 straight seasons. That's Carolina's building block. And the team added a couple of free agents on the interior to raise the unit's floor. The offensive line's ultimate performance will obviously depend a lot on how quickly rookie Ikem Ekwonu can adjust to pass protecting at the NFL level after he earned only a 78.3 pass blocking grade last season for NC State. So, I mean, I know a lot of people say, Ikem Ekwonu, put him at guard. Look, Carolina drafted him with the number 1 pick. Or, not the number 1 pick, but first round pick of the draft. They went with Ikem Ekwonu. So you best believe he is going to play left tackle. They did not draft him to plug him in to start at left guard. Let's keep it real, y'all. First round pick. He's going to start at left tackle. Barring any crazy injury or whatnot, he's going to start at left tackle. They're not going to use a first round pick on him for him to not start at left tackle, where they could have done so many things like trade back, especially considering, they originally weren't going to be able to pick again until round 4, which of course they traded up and got Matt Corral. But let's keep it real. There's no way they draft Ikem Ekwonu with a first round pick and not have any plans on starting him at left tackle, which was what he was picked for. So if you ask me, rank 24 is reasonable. I think that's reasonable. A lot of folks want to say it should be higher, but you got to remember how bad the offensive line was last season. And with these additions, while they are upgrades, before it can really be considered legit significant, we have to see how it pans out, which is why I feel that it was only improved to rank 24. And I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I definitely think that's fair. So I do believe if they perform and execute and have great chemistry, they could get boosted up to within the top 10 or top 15, which would be a significant improvement for the Carolina Panthers. It's going to take time. And like I said, it's going to take a lot of building that chemistry. Because, I mean, you have to remember, this is a totally different offensive line from last season. Totally different. I mean, you got Taylor Moton, who's the familiar face, and you got Brady Christensen, who did play some last year, and then everybody else is new. Ikem Ekwonu, Bradley Bozeman, Austin Corbett, they're new to this team, so chemistry has to be built with these guys. If these are the predicted linemen to be the starting offensive line, which I would say is pretty accurate. I would say that's pretty accurate, that's going to be the starting offensive line. Now, y'all want to hear some disturbing numbers? Y'all want to hear some disturbing numbers? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. It was on Twitter. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. Came across some disturbing numbers. Where's it? Here it is. Shout outs to at Dean Jones on Twitter. So this is the average Carolina Panthers points scored per quarter. Average points per quarter under Matt Rule. In 2020, in the first quarter, 5.6 points, ranked 10th. In 2021, 5.6 points, ranked 7th. So that's in the first quarter. In the second quarter, in 2020, 6.7, ranked 21st. In 2021, 5.1, ranked 27th. In the third quarter, in 2020, 3.6, ranked 27th. In 2021, which was last year, 2.1, ranked 31st. And then in the fourth quarter, in 2020, 6.0, ranked 26. And in 2021, 5.1, ranked 28th. Y'all, these numbers are scary. Scary. No wonder why our offense is ranked low. Look at that third quarter, 2020 points per quarter, 3.6 for third quarters in 2020, and then last year, points per quarter in third quarters for last year, 2.1. This team sucks in the third quarter. Like, if anything, that's a big, big, big hole. Like, this team legit sucks in the third quarter. Like, the third quarter is the Carolina Panthers' weakness for the past 2 seasons. Y'all, these numbers are scary. Both under Matt Rule. And we're about to enter into the third season under Matt Rule. This is scary, y'all. This is really scary. I mean, just abysmal numbers. Like, it seems like first and second quarter, I mean, mainly first quarter, it seems like where they seem to do pretty decent. But then once it starts getting into the second half, I mean, they got to play comeback in the fourth quarter. But then that third quarter, they just cannot put up points. And even though the defense was so high ranked last year, the defense had to play the most compared to the offense. And you know the D is going to get tired if they're on the field so much. So it's just, I came across those numbers earlier today. I was like, that's scary. That is so scary. Now, of course, I do also give Joe Brady some of the blame as well, you know, as the offensive coordinator at the time. But dang. I mean, that third quarter just screams at me. 3.6 and 2.1 points per quarter for third quarters. That's got to be fixed. That's got to be fixed. Like, for reals, that's got to be fixed. And, you know, ultimately the issue, the defense is sustainable, but the offense has just really been bad. Injuries, we've been bit by the injury bug, but this offense needs some serious turnaround, like some serious turnaround. That's one thing I will say about this upcoming season. And y'all let me know what y'all think. I think the most amount of pressure is on the offense. I think that's where the most amount of pressure is going to be, is on the offense. Because you gotta think an improved O-line, you know, the quarterback core, the quarterback situation. You know, the running backs, you know, as far as Christian McCaffrey, like, will he ever become healthy again? That still remains to be seen. There's so many things. There's so many things with this offense that really need to be addressed and turn around. Like, in all seriousness. Otherwise, it's going to be more of the same. It's going to be more of the same. And like I said, the defense, I'm not too crazy worried about. I think ultimately the defense will be fine, but the offense has to be able to do their part, especially when the defense can get turnovers, can cause 3-and-outs. The offense has to be able to stay on the field and score points. They need to be able to stay on the field and score points. That's going to be a big thing for this season. How consistently can the offense stay on the field? Because like I said, I'm not too worried about special teams. I mean, like I said, we got Johnny Hecker and we re-signed Zane Gonzalez. And Zane has been consistent. Zane has been good. But defense, like I said, they're fine as long as they're not on the field so much because the offense ain't doing their part. You know what I mean? So that's something to really watch out for. Is can the offense consistently stay on the field this year? They're going to be challenged. They're definitely going to be challenged. There was another let's see. There's a Cat Crave article, 5 Panther players to watch closely at mandatory minicamp. I'm just curious. That's safety Xavier Woods, Ikem Ekwonu, J.C. Horn, Robbie Anderson, and Matt Corral. Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, what's up, James Aaron? Good to see you. Welcome. But yeah, Xavier Woods, our newest safety. Hopefully him and Jeremy Chin can be a great combo at safety. And of course, Ikem Ekwonu, our newest left tackle. There's going to be a lot of spotlight on him. Hopefully, he'll do well. I'm sure there may be some struggle. I mean, he is a rookie. I'm not saying he can't overcome it, but there's a lot of pressure on him, especially considering we haven't had a solid left tackle in a very long time. J.C. Horn, which J.C. Horn has been looking good in his workouts. He's been coming back strong. He looks healthy. So I'm really hoping J.C. Horn has a great sophomore year. We've already seen flashes of what he can do. So main thing is he's healthy now, can bounce back. I think he'll have a great sophomore year. Robbie Anderson, like I said earlier, I think he is very capable of having a bounce back season this year. I mean, despite controversy, despite how he did last season, I think he can bounce back. But as I said before, I do understand and get his frustrations, which I think all of us should as well. That's just my personal opinion. And then Matt Corral. As much as it would be cool to see Matt Corral, to see how he does. I mean, I hope that if it comes down to Sam Darnold being the starting quarterback, I hope that he can do well, that he can finally break out and have a great season. Because I'm sorry, I'm not going to hope that somebody else fails just so that somebody else can get an opportunity. I think that's a bad way of looking at things. I do. Now, don't get me wrong, I find it hard to have still kept Sam Darnold after last season, personally, but he's still on the team. Therefore, I'm still going to support him and hope that he can actually bounce back and actually have a great season, something that he hasn't had yet, to potentially save his career, because it hasn't been looking good for him these last couple of years. And he's entering into his 5th year. But I'm not gonna say so much that I hope Matt Corral, while I do like him and I hope he does well, if Sam Darnold gets the job, I hope he does well. And I'm gonna cheer him on. JC definitely looks a lot better. Oh, facts. Oh, he's been putting in work. He looks faster. He looks stronger. He's been putting in work even before mini camp came around. He'd been putting in mad work. I'm looking forward to seeing him back on that field. I definitely look forward to that, because I think he has the opportunity to become the newest shutdown corner in the league. Not just for the Panthers, but in the league. So I got a lot of high hopes for J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn, another first-round pick. So I have a lot of high hopes for him. And I know a lot of folks want to go hard on Dante Jackson because he got beat out on a play to Terrace Marshall. Chill. It's mini camp. Was it a good play? Sure. But it's still mini camp. Before we start dropping the hammer on Dante Jackson, remember, this is mini camp. Y'all would want for stuff like this to happen and them get it out of the way now before it translates in an actual game. It happens now. They have the opportunity to fix it before it happens in the game. So y'all just keep that in mind, because I know I've seen a lot of people bashing hard on Dante Jackson. It's mini camp. It's practice. They'll fix that. I believe they'll fix that. Joe Valesco says, what rate do you put the Panthers defense? As of now, definitely not in the top 10. Honestly, I wouldn't even put them in the top 15, to be honest with y'all. I'd give them maybe a 19 or a 20. Maybe a 19 or a 20. Maybe an 18. But there's no way I can put that Carolina Panthers defense in the top 10 going into the season. I can't. I can't. I can't do it. I don't know. What do y'all think? What would y'all give their Carolina Panthers defensive ranking right now. Because honestly, I can't put them in the top 10. I can't. There were big holes in stopping the run. Didn't really get much turnovers, especially interceptions. We didn't get hardly any interceptions last season. I mean, we were ranked 21st in points allowed. I mean, honestly, I would say between 20 and 18 is what I'd give them. Joe Valesco, you say you put them in the top 16? That's pushing it. That's pushing it, but I feel you. But nah, it's for me. It would have to be between 18 and 20 for me. Just because the off balance. So I don't know. That's my take, but I definitely feel like it could be it could definitely be better. But starting off 18 to 20. 18 to 20. That's what I would say for the defense. But I'm hopeful that even with the changes on defense, I mean, we still got a very young defense, and I'm hoping certain people on defense can break out. I mean, our draft picks, of course. Hopefully Brian Burns can have another great year. YGM, I'm hoping he can break out and cause some havoc. We've seen flashes of him. Hopefully Derek Brown can break out and do some damage. I'm hoping. Oh, Frankie Louvu. I think this is going to be a big test for Frankie Louvu. Frankie Louvu has been able to make plays on the snaps, on the snaps that he's had, but he hasn't had a full-time linebacker type of game where he played a big percentage of the snaps. Yes, James Aaron, Marquise Haynes still solid, still good on the rotation, can still make some plays. I definitely was happy that they are bringing him back. Marquise Haynes been with the team for a while now, knows the system. Great role player. But I think this is going to be a big test for Frankie Louvu because I'm seeing Frankie Louvu having more of a consistent presence on the defense at linebacker. I think he's going to get starting snaps. I don't think he's going to be a rotational linebacker this time. I think he's going to have some starting snaps. And even more of an opportunity, especially if the whole legal mess with Damian Wilson ends up falling through, then that's definitely gonna open up opportunities for Frankie Louvu. Corey Littleton as well. I think the linebackers. I mean, we know what we got out of Shaq Thompson. We know what we've seen from Frankie Louvu. When he has played and when he has made plays and has taken snaps. So I really feel like the linebackers is still kind of unknown how this new linebacking core is going to gel. I'm a little nervous because I still don't think we have a true solid middle linebacker. I mean, Brandon Smith's a rookie, so that's the only thing with that. But I just really, that could potentially be a hole, is our linebacking core. Now, I'm hoping pressure starting from the D line. I'm hoping we get good pressure to help enhance the pass rush. But then again, what was another one of our weaknesses? Stopping the run. So that's my only thing with that. As far as the secondary, I'm not too concerned with the secondary, to be honest with you. I still think we got some great names on that secondary. I mean, J.C. Horn's coming back. We brought back Dante Jackson. C.J. Henderson, I hope C.J. Henderson can break out. Keith Taylor, we've seen some flashes of him, so hopefully he can break out. Miles Hartsfield as well, who can play cornerback and has played some safety. We brought in Chris Westry. Don't know if he'll have any sort of rotational role or if he'll be on special teams. STO the third, we could see some of him. So I mean, we got a young secondary. I mean, Jeremy Chin, Justin Burris, which I'm pretty sure him and Xavier Woods are going to be fighting for that starting spot. Kenny Robinson. There have been a few flashes of him. So, I mean, ultimately, I'm not too concerned with the secondary. It's a young secondary. I do agree. I think pretty much the oldest guy on that secondary, I want to say, is Rashawn Melvin, who we did end up bringing back. But aside from him, Panthers have a very young secondary. So ultimately, my main concerns are really the offense in general, mainly because they're going to be going into the season with a low ranking offense on, maybe not necessarily on paper, but based on what they did last season coming into this season. But if Sam Darnold, Matt Corral, whoever the quarterback is, can play well, wide receivers as a whole, a healthy Christian McCaffrey can play and stay healthy, that's going to be big for the offense. That's going to work out really well to the point where that is going to really contribute to victories. Definitely more than it has in the past couple of seasons. Defense, like I said, linebackers and stopping the run are my two main concerns for defense. Red zone. Red zone definitely needs to turn around this season on both defense and offense, especially offense. Also, we do got some upgrades at the coaching staff. So I really hope that I hope that plays a big role in the potential success, is the upgrades at coaching staff. But yeah. there's a lot to look forward to. We'll see what happens. Like I said, Carolina Panthers may be acquiring defensive end Carlos Dunlap, which would be a big boost. That would be pretty much who would complement Brian Burns and who would be our Hassan Reddick replacement, straight up. So that may happen within the next day or two. Robbie Anderson, like I said, I know a lot going on with him, but hey, he arrived at mandatory camp. You know, it looks like he's not retiring. Changed his first name, letters, changed his number. I'm just hoping that he'll have a bounce back year, just like he had his first year with Carolina. So we'll see how things go. But Baker Mayfield, like I said, there's no telling what's going to happen with that. But if you ask me, if Deshaun Watson does get suspended for however long, which I'm sure will probably be a significant amount of time, they're probably going to want to keep Baker Mayfield. James Aaron said, I like the change. I think it means he's a new player. Hey, that could be the symbolism. You make a good point. That could be what it symbolizes. I mean, shoot, last time Shaq Thompson did the same thing. Jermaine Carter did the same thing. So, you know, hopefully it works out. Which, like I said, I still believe he can still make plays and get it done. But yeah. And then we got to remember the first game of the season is against the Cleveland Browns. So something's got to happen at some point. But if I'm the Browns, if they're smart, they're holding on they're either holding on to Baker Mayfield or they would be willing to trade and perhaps get Sam Darnold from Carolina in a trade, you know, due to the possibility of Baker Mayfield just flat out not wanting to play with the Browns. That's also very possible. He could just pull a Deshaun Watson and just not show up and play. Actually, yeah, Joe Valesco just said it right there. I feel like Baker Mayfield doesn't want to play with the Browns no more. Yeah, that could potentially be what the case is. And if that's the case, then the Browns might want to consider going ahead and making a play to trade for him. But as I said with Matt Rule has been said that he's embracing the idea of rolling with Sam Darnold, Matt Corral, our current quarterback core with Sam Darnold at the top. That's what Matt Rule is warming up to the idea of Sam Darnold and Matt Corral on top of the depth chart. So that says something in itself. And then let me go to the Browns roster. I mean, when it comes down to it, if everything kind of falls flat, then we would pretty much be going into this game with the Browns quarterback being Jacoby Brissett, who has some starter experience. So, I mean, I'm not going to say Jacoby Brissett is a threat, but I mean, I don't know. His best year was or I would say his two best years were with the Colts in 2017 and 2019. So I mean, I'm not going to say he's not capable of making noise, but I wouldn't say he's a threat. But I mean, when it comes down to it, he has starting experience and could potentially be the guy the Carolina Panthers end up playing against in week 1 if no Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield just flat out doesn't want to play. But let me check something, because I wonder if Baker Mayfield has even shown up. Because now a lot of folks are saying Baker Mayfield if Jimmy Garoppolo isn't healthy. Well, my thing is, I mean, I don't know why there's a if Jimmy isn't healthy. Jimmy's not going to be able to throw until August. So honestly, Jimmy Garoppolo really shouldn't be in the discussion. He really shouldn't be in the discussion. He's not going to be cleared to throw until August. I mean, I guess, has Baker Mayfield even showed up at minicamp? I don't think he has. I don't think he has showed up at minicamp or anything like that. But I mean, I don't know. If you ask me, oh, Joe Valesco says no. The Browns given permission to hold out. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, I see it. He got excused from minicamp. Okay, okay. Well, I mean, honestly, I guess when it comes down to it, Carolina needs to make a decision and pull the trigger ASAP. I mean, they're probably gonna want to pull the trigger. I mean, I understand Carolina's not in a rush, but I can't really see Baker Mayfield going anywhere else. I just feel like the Carolina Panthers would be the best destination. I mean, Seattle pulling and pushing and pulling strings to go after him, which is kind of a surprise. Seattle's not even trying to go after him. So I mean, really, the ball is in their court, personally, because I can't really see Baker Mayfield going anywhere else but Carolina. I mean, I don't see I don't see Seattle pushing for him. I don't see San Francisco pushing for him. And then, still kind of unknown what's going to be up with Jimmy Garoppolo. So, I mean, I don't really know anybody else looking for a quarterback. I mean, yeah, y'all. I mean, it just really seems like if it's gonna happen, they need to pull the trigger ASAP. They need to pull the trigger. Especially, they need to pull the trigger ASAP so they can get Baker Mayfield ramped up in the offense. They cannot wait until later in August and whatnot to pull this trigger. They can't wait too late. Right, going into preseason. Nah, they can't wait too late. I think they need to pull the trigger ASAP if they're going to do that. Otherwise, then they need to be fully committed to Sam Darnold, Matt Corral, PJ Walker, whatever. But then another thing has to come down to how much of the money would Cleveland be able to eat in a Baker Mayfield trade? And now I'm seeing articles that the Minnesota Vikings could potentially make a play for Baker Mayfield. What? For him to potentially back up Kirk Cousins? I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I don't see Baker Mayfield settling for no backup position. I can tell you that right now. I do not see him settling for no backup position. Nah. I honestly can't see Baker Mayfield backing up Kirk Cousins. I can't see him agreeing to being a backup quarterback. I can't see it. I can't see it. And they just and the Vikings just recently extended Kirk Cousins. So that'll be very weird if they end up potentially landing Baker Mayfield. Which is kind of weird because, I mean, they got Kellen Mond. Are they not going to, potentially have Kellen Mond sit behind Kirk Cousins? Well, I don't know. I don't know. But I honestly, I can't see Baker Mayfield going to the Vikings to be a backup. I don't see it. I can't see it. He'd have a better chance being the starter if he went to Carolina or the Seattle Seahawks. That's my personal opinion. He would have a better chance being the starter with the Panthers or with the Seahawks. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, Matt Rule is starting to accept the idea of sticking with Sam Darnold and Matt Corral as his top two, but the organization still remain open to Baker Mayfield. But they need to make a decision ASAP. They need to make a decision. But if you ask me, Baker Mayfield is an upgrade over Sam Darnold. Hands down is an upgrade. But Joe Velasco says, I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of want Baker Mayfield. I'm open. I'll say that. I'm open. I feel like we got a much better chance. I'll say this. I think we have a better chance of landing him than we do Cam Newton. And I know that's bold coming from me, but I think we got a better chance of landing Baker Mayfield than Cam Newton. Because if you ask me, I really feel like Carolina wanted Cam Newton bad enough, they'd go hard for him. I mean, yeah, that door is open, but the pursuit is also important. James Aaron said, I'm open to get him too. Yeah. But yeah, I think there's a better chance of us landing him than Cam Newton. But to get Baker, it has to be for the right price. Agreed. And like I said, I think it's been definitely said that a big part of this happening is that Cleveland would have to eat some of that salary, or if possible, they'd be willing to accept Sam Darnold in the trade, which something tells me that maybe he would probably legit get traded for Baker Mayfield in the process, because at the same time, it gives the Browns an opportunity for them two quarterbacks to compete for the starting position in Jacoby Brissett and Sam Darnold. Because like I said, I am starting to really gravitate toward the assumption that Deshaun Watson is going to get suspended. With more cases piling up, it's at what 66 women now? Yeah. Was it 66 women or 66 cases? Hold up. Okay, 20. Oh, okay. So 24. So Watson met with 66 women for massages, but there's still 24 have filed the lawsuits. Okay, gotcha. But I mean, it's still kind of. Does anybody else find this weird though? Deshaun Watson saw at least 66 massage therapists over a 17-month period. Like, why would you need to see that many massage therapists within a 17-month period? Like, I don't understand that. Why would you need to see that many massage therapists within that span of time. Wouldn't wouldn't you think that if you had a masseuse that was really good, you would try to book her or him as much as possible? I mean, I can't really say a whole lot. I've never gotten like, a professional massage or something like that. I've never gotten any of that before, but it's like, you would think that if you were to get a particular masseuse that did really well, that, you had good service, you would think that person would still continue to book them. But 666 and over a 17-month period? I don't know. That seems pretty excessive. Now, of course, I'm under the assumption that, book 66 appointments that, maybe he showed up to all, maybe, he didn't show up to all of them. I don't know. But 66 different women, that's kind of ridiculous. From fall of 2019 through spring of 2021. 666 different women. We dodged an atom bomb, y'all. I'm telling you. We dodged an atom bomb by not picking up Deshaun Watson. I can't stress that enough. Have you heard what the Miz stunts? I have no idea. Joe Velasco. But I just the more I look at this and the more that stuff comes up about this whole Deshaun Watson situation, just really confirms that we made the right decision and not going after and successfully getting Deshaun Watson. What did the Miz say, Joe Velasco? What did the Miz say? Who is from Cleveland? But Deshaun is denied all accusations and wrongdoings and stuff like that. So but there's no telling when a ruling will be made, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be some sort of suspension. So we'll see what happens, but we dodged an atom bomb. And it's just crazy with all this going on because it's really going to play into effect week 1 because the Panthers play the Browns in week 1. Joe Velasco said he will support his Cleveland Browns, but he's not going to support Deshaun Watson. Well, I mean, that's understandable. I mean, that's his choice. But if anything, like I said, I'm pretty sure he's going to get suspended. For how long, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure he's going to end up getting suspended. Sucks to see that because he's a great quarterback. But yeah, if more stuff is piling up like this, I mean, it's up to 24 women that filed lawsuits out of the 66. Like I said, I don't understand the whole idea behind booking that many different appointments with 66 different women. That makes no sense to me. But whichever. But that's pretty much all that I have in general. Like I said, we have to look and see how things develop. I mean, we're still in the month of June. Still got a lot of time. But I just really hope the whole Baker Mayfield situation gets addressed ASAP. You know, a decision's made, and we just go from there. But anyway, let me know what y'all's thoughts are about what was discussed tonight. Looks like we could end up landing Carlos Dunlap for our D line. Robbie Anderson changing his name and number. And we'll see what happens with this Baker Mayfield situation. But that'll do it for tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. And thank you so much for watching. For another Carolina Panthers Talk, I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow, and I will see y'all very soon in the next video. Keep pounding no matter what. We're going to get through this and get pumped for the season. Anyway, God bless. Take care. Peace.